Thanks to our sponsor, DoneDeal.ie, we bring you Business Bites, the best bits of that great business show served up in individual servings.
DoneDeal Motors is home to Ireland's largest range of new and premium used cars. That's why you'll find cars from Mercedes-Benz, Audi and BMW dealerships on DoneDeal. Are you looking for a 7-seater to accommodate your growing family? Maybe you're after a luxury saloon to make a statement. We have the car for you. You'll also find Ireland's largest range of electric cars to help you make the switch. Visit DoneDeal.ie today to start the search for your next car.
From episode 124, here's Marie Murphy of Homelink.ie explaining how your home can give you a free holiday. When you work, you should always take time off. It's good for you and good for your business. But there's always that question of cost. But Team GBS is here looking out for you, finding you new ways of getting value, this time saving you money on your holidays. One of my own favourite holiday hacks, and something I've done frequently, is to swap my own home for someone else's, either here in Ireland or abroad. In my experience, it's quite simply a no-brainer that could save you many, many thousands of euro. And before you say no one wants to stay in my small, out-of-the-way apartment, well, you will be pleasantly surprised. But who better to ask about house swapping than Marie Murphy of Homelink.ie. Marie Murphy, welcome to That Great Business Show.
Thank you very much, Conal. Good to be here.
Not the first time we have spoken, because I am a keen advocate of house swapping, because it makes sense. You obviously are making a business out of it. Tell me all about the business.
Well, it's a business, I think, that started in the States, Conal, like many other good ideas, and eventually moved over to this side of the world. I got involved in it in 1984, would you believe?
We just say a while ago. We don't actually put a name on it or words on it. Just a while ago. That's too far back, you see. People, the listeners to this place don't even know there was a 1984.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, look, it is, as you say, it is a no-brainer. It's one of these things that a lot of people will think about and then decide, no, it's not for me. But it really can be for anybody. It depends on your attitude and how, I suppose, free thinking you are. But anybody who has an apartment, a small home, a big home, we have various sizes, and that will suit various people. And often we find people saying, well, my home is very small, but Americans would like a big home. They actually don't want a big home when they come here. They want something nice and comfortable and small and convenient, and somewhere maybe that they can use as a base from which to see the rest of Ireland. That's what they look for.
Because if you're in Dublin, they may want to come to Dublin, and if you're in Kerry, they want to see the Ring of Kerry, or if you're in Galway.
That's right.
And again, they just want a location. Now, how does it work financially?
Right. Well, the only finances involved in it is the fee that we charge for putting the listing up on our website.
Which is?
It's €140 for the year.
Best 140 quid you will ever spend.
Great value. And you can do as many swaps as you like for that within that full 12-month period. So what you do is put up your details, nice photographs of your home, make it look well as if you're going to sell it. So you're going to put it up like that. Then when you get your membership number, you're going to send off several emails to people in other countries because you've looked at their listings, see nice photographs and say, I can see myself sitting at that pool with a glass of wine, whatever. Contact them, and eventually, it takes a bit of contacting. Now you have to do more than one contact. You contact several people, and eventually you find somebody who wants to swap with you, start up correspondence with them, sign our exchange agreement form, and then you start looking for your fares for Aer Lingus or Ryanair or wherever you want to go on.
But the next two questions I'm going to ask you is people will say, and now you've kind of covered it there once, is they won't want my place. And the second one is they'll wreck my place.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody thinks like that initially. Your first swap is always the hard swap to do. But I think if you look at it this way, that I'm giving you the keys to my home and you're doing the same. So that in itself, I think, builds a trust with people. And I often turn that to people and say, well, are you saying that if I gave you the keys to my home, you would trash it? And no, of course I wouldn't. Well, that's exactly how it works. People don't do that because there's no money changing hands here. So I think that that bond between people, that helps, I think.
And of course, one of the things that you will find is, better still, they'll leave your house cleaner than you gave it to them frequently.
That can often happen.
What happens, and we're getting into the law here, many people have rented apartments. Are they allowed to do a house swap?
Yes,
Or a home
if
swap?
we would always say kind of to contact their landlord and get the permission, not just do it without it. We'd always ask them to do that. And we've had people who do exactly that. I think especially in places like Germany and France and that, where it's quite common for people to rent long term. They don't buy their own homes, they rent. And they constantly, we find that they will do that. That's fine. It's fine once they have permission.
And you also get the keys to the cars, and I use the plural because when you go to the States, like there's a car for every member of the family, there's a car for the cat and the dog, there's a car for everybody.
That's true. And I mean, again, for us, we'd always say, well, contact your car insurance company first before you do anything, before you agree anything, and then go from there. But, you know, when you think about it, Conal, the cost savings even around the car, because you know yourself how things have gone through the roof in the last while. And
That's why you're here.
That's why we're
we're
here.
trying to save money.
This is about saving money. Keep it in your pocket and have it when you go abroad and go to a nice restaurant or whatever. But certainly car hire is very expensive now. So if you're swapping your car, again, you're going to save a huge amount of money on that.
Now, whet the appetite. Tell me some of the exotic places people that in your direct experience,
Yes.
we can all imagine or dream, but in your direct experience, places people have gone to and opportunities that they have gotten from that.
Yeah, well, I think one of the ones that actually springs to mind for me at the moment, and it's very simple if you think about this. We had a young fisherman in Connemara about 5 years ago, wanted to take his young family to Australia and New Zealand. And he contacted us and said, look, the kids are really small now and I don't want them to be, you know, teenagers and fighting with me, trying to drag them somewhere. So I'm going to look for something in Australia and that. So he rented out his boat. He had a fishing boat. He rented out the boat to somebody else. That paid for some of the fares for him to Australia. He did 3 consecutive swaps in Australia. And then he interspersed them. He went for nearly 6 months. He interspersed those then with some hotel stays as well. And he did Australia and New Zealand, one after the other. Now, that takes a bit of planning. I'm not saying that's easy, but it can be done. And he did it.
That is a wow. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, other places, you can also go for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months.
Yeah.
You can do alternative swaps. You can go to, because again,
Yeah.
when you're thinking about the States, people can have 2 or 3 homes and they might go to another home when you go to their New York home or whatever.
Exactly. We call that a non-simultaneous swap. And that's very common now because a lot of Irish people have holiday homes and they would use those. It's great if you have a holiday home because you can have that home all prepared weeks in advance. You don't have that last minute cleaning that you will do when you're doing a straight swap with your main home. So the holiday homes, it's absolutely ideal for people who want to do that. And we've had it like over the years where you have people who say they want to go for a particular reason to an area. And because somebody can't swap with them at that time, the non-sim works very well for them. So there's great opportunities.
And of course, you're coming from the other side of the world sometimes, so they're coming out of their winter, they're delighted to come up here,
Exactly.
or.
Yeah.
Any other exotic ones that you can remember? Or I remember going back in the day that there was a Hollywood producer, somebody who was offering his Hollywood home. Now, I didn't do it, I didn't go there.
Right.
But it was, these are real.
Yeah, they are real. Well, I know one of our members in the States one of our organisers in the States had told us about somebody that he knew had taken a very nice home down around in Florida somewhere. But the people...
Not Mar-a-Lago.
No, not there, but some part of Florida. And they were all, next door to him, there were all these celebrities. And he was invited along to their evening party. He was out of his depth, he said, but he enjoyed it at the same time. There's kind of things like that crop up. You hear little stories along the way. But I think in the bigger scheme of things, when people are just looking for, I want a holiday home or I want just a 2 or 3 week holiday in France or Spain, and they'd like to have either be near the beach or have the use of a pool. The use of a pool can be quite common in Spain or France. A lot of people have that, either a communal one or a private one, or just be near the beach is great. And that it works so well. And then your home is also safer with somebody in it than it's empty for 2 or 3 weeks.
You're very good at the sales. Now, do tell me, because we're warts and all, always on this show is...
Yeah.
Have you had any disasters?
Yeah, people always ask about the disaster. And I know it's hard to say that we don't get disasters. You know what we get sometimes? Misunderstandings where people have said they left the keys somewhere and actually when they looked for them, they weren't there and the neighbour wasn't there. Or, that type of thing can happen. But that's the lack of communication sometimes. So really, things have changed over the years. You remember when we had the books and you sent the books out.
Now explain that, because once upon a time, for those people who remember a phone book, Marie used to send out a thing almost that big with little photographs and all, black and white photographs as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And you were trying to guess what was the smudge in the photograph. Now, it's like going on to daft.ie and forever you can...
It's brilliant. I mean, you just see what you can. And then some people now will send a little video, and that's actually great as well, because what they're showing you, it might be trying to explain the alarm system or something like that. So a little video thing is sent, which is, again, gets over all of that. But the disasters just don't happen, because I think people, they're just very careful. Now, accidents happen. And then we would always say, like, if you break something, you're expected to replace it. It's just good manners, really, that we're down to. And I think the vast majority of people understand that and accept that part of it. Like, you have to replace.
Now, I did not prepare you for this, she said with worry in her eyes. I'm just wondering, have you ever put either a total amount or a rough amount on how much people save? Or how much money that Homelink has saved people over the years? Did you ever do that, Todd?
Well, I've never done it over the years, but I know that our organiser in New Zealand did something similar to that because they come to England every year. And she was saying that she reckons she saves, because of the houses that she gets now, she saves about 4,500 each time she does it. But that depends on if she's taken an apartment or, a 3 or 4 bedroom house, which is what you can get if you need that. But the savings can be huge. Depending on how long you go. And if you have to think of it this way, Conal, you have an airfare and you can just go for as long as you like. Whereas if you're going to rent, or, it's renting by the week or rent by the fortnight. This way, you have your airfare and you can go for as many weeks as you wish.
I presume that COVID was not kind to you.
Oh, it was a disaster. Like, it really
just stopped,
was.
I presume.
Just stopped. People didn't want to travel, couldn't travel, as you know. So what we did was, had to put the thinking cap on. We encouraged them to swap within Ireland. And that worked absolutely terrific.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Clever
it was
you.
just really good. So we put up a special page on the system. We still keep it now. It's for people who are particularly interested in coming to Ireland, doing their swaps within Ireland. So that worked really well. You had people from Donegal going down to Kerry, Galway, across to Dublin. It was just great. That worked out really well. That was our saviour, to be honest.
And I presume that continues as well.
It's continuing,
now,
yes. Yeah.
And again, it's 365 days a year. You can swap for whenever. Yeah?
Well, exactly. Well, we're doing a swap now to Cork. Myself and Paul heading off. We're only doing it for a long weekend. But fine. This couple had contacted us and we said, yeah, sure, why not?
I hope you pay your 140 quid a year, do you?
I do. Not.
The future, it's the internet just was made for you, because back to your little booklet, it was a bit odd to be doing it in the book days. But now it's just, and there are competitions, or there are competitors. Are any of them any good?
Well, I wouldn't, downplay them, because they have big investors behind them, Conal. They're not like us. We're the small player in it. But what we try and do is keep it that we have a more personal contact with people, and they like that. So, I mean, I answer the phone to people still. I still do that, and I think that's important, because people want that. They don't want, just a bot or chat bot thingy-me-bob, whatever we call it here.
You get Murray Murphy.
They get me. Yeah.
And I won't go into the details, but once upon a time, Senator Edward Kennedy was on the phone to you, directly or indirectly, and he wanted to swap into Ireland as well. That, as they say, is Scéal Ella.
Scéal Ella.
Final question, and you have been prepped for this. Who would Marie Murphy hire in a heartbeat?
Well, I didn't have to think about it very long, and the answer is Pádraig O'Céige.
Okay, yeah, we know Pádraig.
Well, Pádraig was a member of ours, would you believe, for several years.
Was he?
He was, and he did lots of swaps as well over the years. But I got to know him as well. He was doing a walk on the Aran Islands for charity type thing, and he asked me to do a walk, so Paul and I did it. So got to meet him that time. I just admire him because he's a go-getter, but he's also so modest as well, and he's the type of man, I think, that anybody would want in their company. He's, good fun, but very down to earth.
And as that song goes, you knock me down and get up again, because he's done that a few times as well.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what he is,
We love people like that on That Great Business Show.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to find you will find you at...
They'll find me at Homelink.ie. That's probably the best.
Very simple. And 140 quid will be, I'm telling you now, the best couple of quid you can invest. And literally, now sorry, one final question. How many countries in the world do you cover, do you reckon?
Well, we would cover, I suppose, all of Europe is covered in it, plus Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, obviously America, Canada. They're the bigger ones. And obviously some are more popular than others, and with Irish people, they love the bit of sun. So France, Spain, Italy, they're the big ones.
Anything really exotic, like the Seychelles or the...
Well, they're there, but they wouldn't be in hundreds now. You'll get a handful here and there. Yeah. But
everything, it's there.
Yeah.
It's like the world. Marie Murphy of Homelink.ie, thank you so much for joining us on That Great Business Show.
Want to increase sales, reduce overheads, and provide customers with a better service? Then use Big Red Web, the easiest way to develop and maintain your website. It gives you powerful business reporting, digital marketing, and automatically integrates with the award-winning Big Red cloud accounting software. It's a game changer for SME businesses. It's so good, the government gives you a €2,500 grant towards it. Big Red Web, e-commerce made simple. BigRedCloud.com/web.
De facto shaving oil, made only from natural oils. Nothing nasty on your skin.
This interview was first posted on episode 124 of That Great Business Show. Do make sure to share it with any homeowner you know. For more great business insights, listen back to the entire back catalogue of That Great Business Show.